Oh, that's so weird. Do you hear? I still hear.
What? I don't hear
I hear
anything.
us somewhere.
You, but I don't hear. I don't hear us. I don't hear
Oh, here
echo.
we go. I found it.
Okay.
There was a full screen for some reason. There was a full screen. Okay, now I got rid of it. It's so weird because when you have a stream open
Uh huh.
and we're talking at the same time, there's like an echo, and so it was
Oh,
great.
oh, oh, oh!
Terrible.
You had a stream open on
Anyways,
another
Black
window.
Alert,
Okay.
Marcelo, Black Alert, we're here. We're back on
Yeah,
another
we're here.
exciting episode of Starfleet So Hail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. And today we're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 7, Erigah. I knew a girl named Erigah. She was kind of lame.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm just kidding. I just thought it'd be funny if
Oh, yeah,
there's some. I
yeah.
bet there are people named. I bet
It's
that's a name. I bet Erigah is a
it's
name.
far. Yeah, it's far too early for subtext for me, so that'll just go whoops.
No, that's okay. I'm in a silly mood today. We got some chatters in the chat. That's so cool. Jill's here. Hello. I need
Hey,
Locke to come
Jill.
back, take over, and get the Breen to chill. Agreed. And we got Fathery. Hey, by the way, guys, tonight, whoever's watching this, we got quite a few people watching this. If you're watching this tonight, there is a Text Trek deep dive of this episode. Lots of fun at 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. So check
Eastern.
that out. And then afterwards, like much later, probably around 11 Eastern, maybe 10:30 Eastern, we'll see. We're going to do Starfleet So Hail After Dark and hopefully talk about X-Men 97. So Marcel, if you haven't caught up,
No, I am
today's your
all
chance.
caught up. I am all caught up. The question is, has our friend caught up?
He says he'll be caught up by tonight. So yeah, that'll be
Okay,
cool.
that's what he says. Okay.
Cake is Eternal is here also. Hey, Cake. Oh, and
Hey, what's up?
yes, tomorrow is in fact my birthday. I'm so excited about it. And we'll be doing our DS9 discussion tomorrow at 3, but also it's not too late if you go and sign up. It's I think the minimum is $2 to attend these things. If you go and sign up on TextTrack for $2, you can come to my birthday party on the Discord server, on the TextTrack Discord server. We're going to be watching Star Trek Generations, so I'm pretty excited
Oh shit! You know
about
what?
that.
You know what?
What?
You guys are my friends, but I'll definitely do that because I love that movie.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone else loves that movie
I
because
love that. No, no,
it
no.
gets a lot of disrespect.
That that no lie. That is my favorite next gen movie. No lie.
Excellent. Wow. I don't know. Not
No
First
lie. You didn't
Contact?
know that? You
No,
didn't?
I
Oh
didn't
well,
realize
no.
that.
Well, no. It goes generations and then first contact.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I like First Contact maybe slightly more, or they're
Yeah,
like neck and neck, maybe.
neck
Yeah.
and neck. But there's something about generations that just strikes the right note for me. I don't know what it is. And
It's the
I haven't been.
last time they feel like they did on the show. I think
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
last
yeah,
time. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
Like
right.
before they
And
change into action hero.
yeah,
Full time
yeah.
action
And
hero.
before, and then before Picard comes Action Picard. So it's like, yeah,
Action Picard, I like that. Action Saru, Action Picard. It's really funny.
no, but I love the introduction of the next gen crew on the holodeck, and they actually went out to the ocean to film that sequence. Pretty cool.
Jill says, I love Generation Sumi, shut up. So yeah, thanks Marcella for signing up to Tech Track.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it forever, but it's nice to support them. But you could do like 1 month, and that way
No,
you
well,
can come
yeah,
to
no,
all the birthday.
Father is my. He's also my pal, so I'll just give him a little bit here and there.
Father
It's only
says
$2 anyway.
it's my least favorite Star Trek film ever, but even
Ah,
I don't know what my least favorite ever has. I have to do a recent rank. I have to do a
wait,
ranking.
wait a minute.
I think I throw the
Uh,
Kelvin films on the lower just so that
on
I can rank all the original, like all the earlier films
how
higher.
dare you?
I'm
How
sorry.
dare you? How could you do
It's
that? No,
so
I'm
bad.
kidding.
I know I do that.
No, but you know what? I
um,
don't. You know what?
but he
I
says
can't.
He says, "I will heap praise on tomorrow." So that's good.
Okay. You know what? I'm not. I mean, I'm not too crazy about. I mean, my opinions on this film have changed, but I used to hate the Final Frontier, but I've learned to love it actually over the years.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's get talking about Discovery, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Marcel, do you feel like doing the episode summary or
Uh,
should I take it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well,
Cool.
in this episode, it's really simple. So the Breen basically come to Federation headquarters to try and, take Moll and Locke back into their custody. And we discover that the reason why Locke is wanted by the Breen is because Locke is the last surviving member of the royal family, and the guy who wants to control the entire Breen Empire needs Locke as his steward to take over the throne, and also Locke. I'm sorry, yeah, sorry. Locke dies in this episode, and a bunch of other cool stuff happens. I guess that's why I don't do summaries half the time because I'm like,
Hey,
what?
it's not a bad summary. There is a bunch of other cool stuff happening, but you got the main gist of the story. So,
Yeah.
yes, he is the scion of the Breen, but just like Jill in the audience, I don't know if he's the last scion. I don't know if they said. I don't remember if they said or not. Maybe Father remembers, uh, but
He
was he
remembers.
the
He has
last?
to remember.
Is he the last scion, or is he just the last living? Well, I guess he must be because they're not like when he died. They're not like, oh, let's get the next scion. They
No, I would
didn't like
no, I
appoint.
would
Yeah, so
no,
yeah,
I would
I think it's definitive that he is the last scion.
I would think that he's the last living. So, yeah,
Yeah,
or the last available one.
yeah. Is Maul Oh, this discussion's already off to like hot
That's a good
questions. So
one.
is Maul pregnant? Will Locke be revived? Ooh,
That's a good one.
it's very interesting. I wonder. That's a good. You just threw off
That's a
my whole
good
discussion.
one.
I don't even know what to
That's
think
a
now.
good
That's really cool. All right. Well, that was a good summary. I guess we could start getting into the to the brass tacks if you want. And Marcelo, I did have time to do screenshots today, so I'm
awesome.
very excited. What did you think of the that I like that ship a lot, the Larkener or the Lockerner or something like that. It was pretty cool. But more exciting than that, Non is back.
It
So that was
was
pretty cool.
yeah, it was really cool to see Nan again. I didn't think we were going to see her again in the whole show, but it was really nice to have her show up and her be sort of combative with Book because of his past history. I thought that was really cool. But also, I did think in this episode, Book was a little bit um well, not intrusive, but I think he was sort of like trying to push himself into certain situations where like he kind of didn't belong. And I like I know that a lot of people who watch this episode are really liking the fact that Book is trying to connect with Maul and trying to show her that there's a better way. But his chemistry with the actress who plays Maul, I'm not buying it, and I don't buy the whole thing that just because his mentor was her father, I don't buy the kinship that he feels to her. So that doesn't work with me. But going back to your question, it was great to see Maul again, and that ship
Non,
looks like
you mean not
non.
non,
Thank you,
yeah.
non. That ship looks like a self-controlling cleaning robot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you take away the little things on the side and paint it black, it looks like a self-cleaning robot. It looks like a
It,
Roomba
it does look a little like a Roomba or a Dyson or like the new Dyson
or a
robot.
Dyson. Yeah, a Dyson.
It's got the 4 nacelle configuration similar to the Stargazer, so I wonder if it's a kind of a descendant of that style or that class
It's possible. It's
of
possible.
starship. But yeah, these 32nd century designs are pretty interesting. I wonder if we'll see them more in future episodes. And look how huge that ship is. Like, I don't have the screenshot of it, but when the Discovery pops in next to it, even though it's kind of in the foreground and the scale's not Exactly correct. Um, this thing's just massive, and then later on in the episode, when this one, along with its sister ships, pops in with other ships, they're all pretty huge. I mean, the Breen ship is ginormous, but comparatively, it's not like you can't put up a good fight. You know what I mean? Like it looks like if you have enough of these guys in the fight, you could take on a Breen destroyer or whatever it was. What was it called? The Dreadnought. It's like
Right,
a
the
crazy looking
dreadnought.
thing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
well,
was really
listen.
happy to see Commander Non back. Like that was one of my wishes for the final season, was to get her to make a cameo, and this was really cool. And I like I like the way she's very kind of she's like security like minded and doesn't let Book pass, and gives him a hard time. And it's interesting to see Book kind of going through it. There's so many, it's interesting to see Book kind of going through this whole thing of having to prove himself, and I kind of like that. But at the same time, you were saying that you don't understand his connection to Maul. it,
Yeah, I'm
I,
not buying it.
I do buy it, because it's kind of like, you know if I found out that a good friend of mine had a kid and that I didn't know about, like I'd kind of be wanting, and especially if the kid were like in trouble or like, had some problems, I'd feel obligated myself to help out.
Okay.
So it kind of, to me, it feels kind of like books,
Yeah.
attachment to Maul makes sense, but I understand, like, not everyone has to feel that way, but that's how I
Yeah.
would feel personally.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I'm just not like yeah, it just doesn't work for me, unfortunately. But I'm happy that it works for you.
Thanks. We get this cool stuff in the medical, books, and I'm sorry, I'm
In the
confusing
medical bay.
everyone's name. Yeah, we get this in the medical bay. But by the way, have you noticed there's like this heart that gets in the way of like text? Because I
Yeah.
can't see
Uh
like
huh.
some people's text. So sorry, that's weird. But anyways, stress free K's in the audience. How do y'all? I totally feel for Book. He's a real fish out of water. Yeah, I agree. Um, and Oh, that's cool. I just got a really great compliment from Jill. Thank you so much. I always think I'm like the rose of the group, but I like that being the majority of the group is very cool. Thank you. Um, but we get, um uh we get Locke and Maul they get beamed aboard, after they're captured, and Maul, why am I confusing their names today? Jeez.
Lock.
Locke, thank you.
It's okay.
Locke is in serious trouble. He's in serious condition, and in a scene that kind of sort of reminded me of Star Trek 6 with the Chancellor Gorkon situation.
Ugh,
Dr. Hugh here, Dr. Culber doesn't really know the physiology and is kind of like, I don't know what to do. But I like that he kind of deep dived into the archives and found that like they had a Breen medical refrigeration unit, and it was a cool upgrade to the set when they hooked that thing up to the medical bed there and stuff like that. So yeah, they eventually do stabilize him, but as we find out, Locke, I'm sorry to say this, but stupidly and foolishly injects
so
himself with too
dumb.
much of this
So dumb.
drug. Yeah, but
So
anyways,
dumb.
but at this point they're trying to get him back here, and then at the same time we're faced with the Breen, the Breen are on their way, because also another thing that they did, which was kind of I would say foolish, was putting out the SOS on all channels, and of course the Breen caught it as well. So it's like now they're on their way. But Maul does say, I've always been one for playing it by ear or whatnot. So yeah, it was like I was like, man, these guys are just like not helping themselves at all. I feel really bad. Like, I don't know, it's just I get it, like they've been through so much, they don't trust anyone, and like you kind of have to make the best decision you can. But I really feel bad for them, because like the outcome didn't have to be this. So yeah, it really hit me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, look. Moll and Locke, when they were first introduced, they seem to be like real intelligent people. They seem to be real intelligent criminals. But as of late, as their situation has gotten worse and worse, they seem to be like treading water at this point, and jumping into bad situation after bad situation. And I really do think that if Locke wanted to give Maul an opportunity to escape, he should have voted, because the overdose of medicine that he took is right by his bed, and he could have. I don't care how weak he is. He could have opened up that thing and made sure that he didn't and make sure that he didn't puncture the whole set in just one. But but as the writer on the panel, I'll say writer's convenience, that he just went the hell with it, whack, right? I thought that there could have been a better way to do that. I unfortunately didn't get the Undiscovered Country vibes when Culver said, "I don't know what to do. I need a Breen doctor." I didn't get that. Perhaps if he got on top of them all and started going, "Breen, damn it, Breen, damn it, Breen, damn it! I tried to help him. I tried to help him."
Tell me, doctor, do your hands shake? You are incompetent.
You're incompetent.
Sorry.
I'm,
Anyways.
I'm sorry. No, but listen. I thought it was I thought everything in the sick bay was really, really cool. I really liked it when I'm sorry, when Locke died. Jesus, I'm doing that now too. When Locke died, and you could really see the emotion on Maul's face, and the actress did such a good job emoting and really telling us by just showing us how close his connection was. And I thought that she did a wonderful job doing that. The other thing I liked about her performance in this episode is that she stayed evil and she didn't come over to the Discovery side. She hasn't seen reason yet. She's still running by the seat of her pants, and I like that.
You think these guys are evil?
No, I don't know. I don't think that they're. I don't think that they are
Oh, so
inherently
you're just saying,
evil.
like, so what you
I
meant was like she just stayed on the wrong side of the,
Yeah. No, no.
like she's like,
Let me rephrase.
okay, I
I
was
don't.
like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the
I
Breen
don't.
might be a little evil, but
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think.
but
Listen, I don't think that Maul and Locke are inherently evil, but I do think that they are nefarious people, and I do think that if they weren't in this situation, they would like be bounty hunters, working for whatever suits them. And the reason why I don't think they're inherently bad people is because they don't kill unless they have to. A bad people kill just because they want to do it, but they don't do that. But again, I do like the fact that she stayed the course, and she stayed and she stayed with her beliefs, and she wasn't swayed by Michael or by Book or by anyone in Starfleet, and she kept running.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, and it's, I'm still kind of, I agree that they're very complicated, their situation, like especially Maul, who seems to have had a very, very rough life.
Yep.
With the emerald chain, torturing her and doing all kinds of, awful things as they did. And, now this situation of her, her beloved, you know, facing death and stuff like that. And
She was
just
like,
just everything. She's had a really, really tough life, but I'm still on the fence about, I think they still need to, I'm going to sound like you here. I still think that they need to come to justice, because I,
"Ha!
I still think that,
I win."
but I hope they come to justice with the Federation, because the Breen justice doesn't seem like a good justice system. But because I just don't think that, like, it's right to kill anyone, even if they deserve it, quote unquote.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not in a situation where I'm seeking revenge for the murder of anyone I know, thank goodness. So
Okay.
maybe I would change my mind if that happened. But as of right now, I do believe in, I think people should be punished for their crimes, but I don't think death for
So
death, or an eye for an eye, or a
so
tooth for a tooth is a good
so
policy.
if I'm understanding you correctly here, you don't believe you believe in capital punishment, right?
I believe in like incarceration and rehabilitation.
Oh, okay.
If someone can't be rehabilitated, then they should be incarcerated for life.
Okay. All right. I'm the complete opposite way. Like, if you do something really unforgivable in my eyes, I'm not gonna waste the time, and I'm not gonna waste the taxpayers' time. I'll just put you to death and save us all some money. But that,
Wow.
but that's just me. No, and like you just said, you haven't had anyone in your life die under intense circumstances. I have. So
I see.
um,
Well, I'm sorry
so
about that.
so that's okay. It happens. So my view on the world is a little bit more skewed to an eye for an eye because of what I've gone
So
through.
you're a little more like Moll and Locke in this
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
You've
Like,
seen the yeah.
right. So if Moll and Locke end up having to pay for their crimes with the Breen, I'll have no problem with that because I'm like it's justice. It's just not the justice you want, but it's the justice that I'm comfortable with. So
Right on.
yeah.
Cake says, I think they've already done the come back to life thing with Worf. Maybe the Breen are so unique that it's possible. In that case, the
What
Primarch would be very motivated to send his best doctors.
question?
I don't know what's going on with that. I thought I knew. Oh, uh, oh, I see. Okay, so there was a discussion, I think last night on Text Trek's live stream where okay, so there's two possibilities, and I totally think that Locke is not gonna stay dead. Uh, I think they're gonna use. I think the most obvious thing to me is that they're gonna use the progenitors technology to revive Locke from the dead, and that he'll become the new Breen, emperor or whatever,
Ugh.
and put things in order. I think that's my prediction for what's gonna happen. But there was an interesting point raised last night. I think Aaron Harvey, our friend Geek Filter, uh, was the one who brought it up, which is that maybe the Breen can like go into kind of like a stasis, if you will. Like maybe he was in that
Yeah.
cold chamber thing long enough, and so maybe he just needs to be like he'll just wake up at some point. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't think that Locke is permanently dead. I heard you say last night on the Text Trek stream that you kind of want that to be a permanent thing for the impact
Yeah,
and everything
permanent.
like
Yep.
that,
Mhm.
but I don't think that's Discovery's
Yeah,
MO.
yeah,
Like, I feel like
yeah, I know. Yeah, but
no one stays dead on
yeah,
Discovery.
but check it out. Check it out. If he stays dead, then Maul's rage and Maul's whole thing will change completely because she'll be on a revenge spree against the Breen. So if he stays dead, then she by extension becomes even more interesting because
Well,
she'll
yeah,
just be out of control crazy. And
I don't know.
and and
Maybe she'll
and I
calm
would
down.
yeah,
Maybe she'll, like,
and
have a
and
kid. I like that
yeah,
idea too, Jill.
okay,
Jill just totally
okay,
rocked my world. Like, maybe there's a
okay.
baby on the way.
But
Baby
I
Locke.
yeah, listen, I like Maul, like I like Maul the way that she was presented when Locke was still alive, but the uh uh the option of having Maul, running away and having grief on top of her emotional state is even more attractive to me.
I I just realized one thing later in the episode. What's his name? Tahal,
To ho-
the Primarch. Tahal
yeah,
does
to
say
ho- yeah.
something like that bluff wouldn't even fool a hatchling. So it implies that the Breen hatched from something like an egg or something like that. So that would be really
So wait a minute.
interesting if
So
like if
yeah,
Maul gives birth to like an egg and then the egg hatches because of like
yeah,
I don't know, it would
yeah,
be
yeah.
weird.
But the thing is, look, I don't want to get too, rated R here, but I'm like, wouldn't that hurt? Because it's like she would have to expel that thing from her lady bits, and I'm like, that's gonna hurt.
Let's save the let's save the details of this for like
Yeah, after dark.
maybe after dark is a more appropriate place, or we could try to what I'll say that I'll
I
say the
didn't
most
say
like
anything.
I know. I understand where you're going with this, but you never know. Like, what if the Breen hatchling egg size is really tiny? It might not.
Right,
It
right,
might
right,
not be what you think. So
right.
it might just be, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't.
I'm thinking of like a I'm thinking of like a green egg or something.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
a green.
I
It
know.
would be a green egg.
Yeah,
The
green egg.
Breen are very interesting. I doubt we'll get like extreme details about them, but maybe if if we continue to get Breen characters in Starfleet Academy, maybe we'll find out more things about their
Can
physiology and stuff like.
can you clear something up for me?
Yeah, sure.
Jill said it a moment ago. When did Worf die? Did I totally miss something? Did he ever die? She said it a minute ago, right? So Worf did did he ever die?
I don't think Worf did ever die, did he? No,
Yeah, no,
maybe
but
he did. No, he
so but
did. I think he had like a situation where he died on. Yes, he died.
oh yes, that's right. He died one time.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
When he
And
got
then
when he got electrocuted.
right, and then his backup heart or whatever kicked
Oh yeah.
in. Something like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was like something about
Oh
backup
yeah.
organs. Yeah,
That's right. Backup organ. Yeah.
and it was Cake, not Jill, by the way, who said that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Craig. Sorry.
Here we go. Yeah, Cake just confirmed. Worf died on the table, and then his redundant organs kicked in. Yep, exactly. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. So something like that kind of a situation. You would think that the Breen medical people would know about this, but because this, they seem to think that Locke is pretty dead. So that gives me more cause to think that they'll use the progenitor device,
To bring him
unless
back.
Breen, yeah. Stress Free K says, speaking of hatchlings, are the 32nd century Gorn? Are there 32nd century Gorn? Yes, because in season 3, during the burn, they mentioned that the Gorn had done something to subspace and messed it up, and that's why sometimes traveling through subspace, I think it was. And so yeah, they're totally still around in the 32nd century, but who knows?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
Breen
can't.
doctor took 2 seconds and gave up. I mean, they're kind of a brutal species, so maybe yeah, they're like, oh, I'm not registering enough life, life cycles or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, no. I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, it's nice that the brain doctor came in to help Locke, but I'm like, he didn't do much. He's like, he did two things, and then he goes, "Oh, I can't help this guy. He's gonna die." Like, really?
I like these next scenes about where like Admiral Vance beams aboard and he's like telling Michael that Discovery should just leave and keep as far away as possible. And I really like this because Burnham kind of has the wisdom to realize that it doesn't matter at some, why let why not just take the situation and go head on and force the Breen into a solution, because they're eventually going to catch up with them, and the Breen do seem pretty relentless. And imagine the wake of destruction just trying to find the Discovery. Like it would be
Mhm.
pretty bad. So
Yeah.
I like the scene. What did you think?
Yeah, that moment really reminded me of the pilot of Discovery, the Vulcan Hello, because so many people, and I'm gonna bring it back, guys, to this actual scene. So many people say that Michael started. So many people say Michael started the war with the Klingons, and I'm like, guys, if Michael didn't shoot first, the Klingons would have shot anyway. So I think that this scene is right. I think that this scene sort of echoes that scene in that if if Starfleet were to take a defensive posture to protect themselves, if the Breen didn't hear what they liked, they would have attacked anyway. So
Yeah.
regardless of what they do, it's going to be bad for everybody.
And interestingly enough, Rayner is the one advocating for firing first in this situation, similar to how Burnham was advocating to fire first in that situation. By the way, I love that Captain Giorgio stuck to her principles in that
Captain Georgia.
time
Oh, sorry. Okay, okay.
back in season 1, and despite Michael's very good reasoning, with what the Vulcans did.
Starfleet does not fire first, so I
Yeah,
can't
I
do it.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very cool. But yeah, here in this situation, it's a little less about firing first, but yeah, I guess
yeah.
Rainer's like, just don't waste your time, strike, do whatever it takes to kind of hold them
Strike
off,
first, right?
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Stress free K. Even the Breen communication message looks like a bomb. They're so aggressive. They're very aggressive. I love that we're
Very
seeing so much
aggressive.
of the Breen. Who knew Star Trek Discovery would be where we learn this much about the Breen, right? Like, I thought Lower Decks would be the one to do it because they kind of hinted at the Breen. Or was it
Yeah,
last
I
season, right?
mean,
Or the season before? Yeah.
regardless of what you think about Discovery, Discovery really has come a long way from being that Star Trek show that was all about war in season 1. Um, and it's really become a show that really takes really interesting angles on Star Trek history and Star Trek villains, and especially this season they play with Star Trek history in a really interesting way, in a really creative way, for my money.
Burnham Burnham talks, Tarina into giving her a little bit more time to get information, and she goes and kind of interrogates Locke and Moll, and that's when she finds out that he's the scion of the Breen. And I really like that whole scene. I like how Burnham, was like trying to get the information. She's like kind of begging them, and then when they won't budge, she's like, okay, well, let me tell you what I know. And then she kind of ciphers it out or susses it out. And I like the way this all played out. It was very cool. And then we also get, I also like, I don't have a screenshot of it, but Stamets convinces Tilly to stay when the emergency is occurring, because he's like, this, the progenitor tech is still our most important mission. I know, there's a lot of chaos going on. We're about to be attacked by the Breen, perhaps, but we need to figure out where this clue is going to take us next. And so he convinces Tilly to stay and work with Adira. What did you think of all those scenes? And with Burnham, Locke, Moll, and then also the Tilly and Adira scenes.
Yeah, I thought it was really smart of Michael Burnham when she went to go talk to Moll and Locke to finally figure out what is the real deal. Why do the Breen want uh Locke so much? And I really liked the way that she kind of she kind of, like you said, suss them out. And yeah, and what was I saying? I got distracted. Sorry.
Oh, you
I was talking about, I was talking about, okay, so I really like the way that Michael sort of was able to get the information out of Maul and Locke by leading them into by sort of tricking them into saying what she really wanted to hear. I thought that was a very, very interesting way to take the conversation. That was a very interesting way to use reverse psychology on them. I really liked that Stamets tried to remind Tilly that, look, Tilly has always had one foot on the Discovery and the other foot in Starfleet, but I really like how he took the opportunity to remind Tilly that, look, your cadets are in the safest place that they can be right now, and right now I need your help to do this thing. So I really like that. Even though Tilly wanted to jump ship, she did stay behind for her friends, and she did stay behind to help to help out, to help protect a giant piece of the puzzle that they needed to survive here.
very cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I sorry, I got thrown off because Jill's dying to talk about in the audience. Jill's dying to talk
What?
about Reno and Serena because they were pretty great in this episode. But I'm
Oh
like, we're
yeah,
going in order. We're going in order.
we're going. We're getting there. We're getting there,
All right,
Jill.
let's give Jill what she wants. Here, let's just go right to
All
it. All
right,
right, so we
let's
get this to
go.
me. Here you go, Jill. Before we get to that, real quick, some other comments. It's great when Michael gets to use her logic. We still need much more Burnham after season 5. And then yeah, Burnham's
Yeah,
Vulcan upbringing does show up
yeah.
from time to
Yeah,
time.
I mean, this is well known, guys. I wanted 7 seasons of Discovery and then a couple movies. That's what I wanted, but unfortunately, that's not what we're gonna get.
Oh, I remember really quickly what I was distracted from. Before we get to Reno, I give Reno her time to shine here. Tilly and Adira. Do you think Adira is going to end up on the Academy show? Do you think we'll continue with the character?
No, I mean, to be honest, I've said it on this show and I've said it on various streams. I'm really disappointed with what the writers have done with Adira. I think they had a golden opportunity to really, really to really, really to really, really give her character some much needed development since she was introduced, but for one reason or another, I think they squandered it. So, with that being said, I would be comfortable not seeing Adira after this season, but that's just me.
I think I just thought about it a little more. Like, there's not really a reason for Adira to go to the Academy. She's like,
Right, right,
they're trying to be they're already on a ship. They're already graduated, from like
right,
the
right,
Earth
right,
Earth
right,
version of the Academy
right,
or whatever you want
right.
to
And
call it. So, yeah.
also, when we first met Adira, she was part of the United Earth outfit. So it's like, isn't she a little bit too smart to be in the academy? Like, yeah,
um I mean, yeah, but like I think Adira's already and then there's the whole thing about the symbiote and stuff like that. Gosh, I really wish Discovery wasn't ending this season. There's like so many places they can go after this with. I like the
yeah.
way
I
that
mean,
they're kind of injecting us with more information about these characters, and now it's so like I'm like, oh, there is opportunity for this
yeah,
character to get better
yeah. I
and,
mean, the
and
one thing,
show us more.
the one thing that I can't get over is how they kind of like unceremoniously ejected, well, not ejected, but sort of wrote off um Woshicum and Detmer, saying that, oh, they're driving the ship back to space dock somewhere, and I'm like, this is the final season, and why are you gonna take? It's just annoying me.
Y I know, but they didn't know, unfortunately, it was gonna
I
be the
know,
final
I know,
so I
I know,
think the
I know.
plan was to, like, introduce some new characters into the mix and
Yeah, I
then
know.
keep going from there. Alright, let's talk about Jet Reno. What do you think of Jet Reno? I forget what you think of the character overall,
Yeah,
and what do you think
yeah.
of this scene here?
Jet Reno is has always been aces in my book. Jet Reno has always been a mixture of um of Bones and a little bit of possibly make she's been a little bit of Bones, a lot of Bones, and a little bit of Scotty because she's an engineer. But I love the way that she just sort of does her job with this gleeful abandonness that she has. She doesn't act like the rest of Starfleet. She likes her job, but she approaches it with a sense of levity that not a lot of other officers do, and I really appreciate that. Also, um, Jet Reno, the actor's real name, Tignataro. Tignataro is a Star Trek name. So I'm like, why didn't they just use her real name? Because
No, that would be
Tignataro sounds like
weird.
a Star
I
Trek
think
name.
Jet Reno's a really cool name. I always like thought like if I ever had a kid, Jet
Like
would be a
Tig,
really
yeah,
cool name.
yeah.
What is Jet? Does anyone in the audience know if Jet's short for something? Because that is a name. Like
Jeffrey,
George Lucas' son is named Jet, so I'm not sure if is it short for
Jeffrey,
like Jethro or
Jeffrey,
something like
Jethro,
that.
J- Jethro Gibbs, or no, that's NCIS.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
not sure what Jet is short for. I guess we could Google it and look it up. But
yeah,
anyways,
Google it.
I loved all the kind of
Well,
references. Uh, oh yeah, Joan Jett, maybe that's true.
Joan
Is
Jett.
it Jet with two T's? I've been putting only one T. That's interesting. Jet for boys, Jet for girls with two T's. I didn't realize it might be two T's. Oh yeah, so yeah, Joan Jett. Interesting. I always thought Jet Reno might also be Jet could be maybe short for Janet. Jet? No, that doesn't work.
Okay, Jen, I don't know.
But I did
Uh,
always think that Jet Reno was an homage to Janet Reno, perhaps, but I'm not sure. Like, or at least the naming her Reno might have been like an homage to Janet Reno, who lived here
okay.
in South Florida, by the way, and who I met. She was cool. Um, Father says, excuse me, Lower Decks had a jet and Disco has a jet. Sorry for spit.
Was Jet the one that Mariner met in the Sonic Showers, and then they just had that stupid but funny competition of hiking up the Sonic Showers, and they start
Yeah, I'm
breathing
pretty
through their
sure. Yeah,
noses? That was
that's
that Jet,
Jet.
right, Father? I think that was that. I think that was the Jet.
Oh, that's cool. Writers originally wrote her as Denise Reno, um, and
Okay,
take the
Denise
Jet
Reno.
as a tribute to Joan Jett. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's good. Thanks, Cake, for letting us know. Uh, and Jill says I googled it. Jet is not short for anything. So there we go. It's just the
Oh,
name Jet.
okay. It's just the name Jet.
Oh, cool. Aaron's in the audience. Hey, Aaron. Geek Filter says Nataro explained that the character had originally been presented to her as Denise Reno. It's the same thing that Cake just said, but she recalled that she had replied, "Can we like take it up a notch?" That's so Nataro. According to Nataro, she then Jet as a tribute to the American rock singer Joan Jett. Thank you. Very cool. I like that she's like, can we take it up a notch? Denise, yeah, Denise Sereno would not have been a cool name for this character. This character is Jet, like, for sure. Like,
Jet
but I loved
Reno.
all the references she makes in this episode, like to her kind of past, like smuggling books and stuff like that. And I wondered if she ever interacted with Pelia, because you know, Pelia might have been her engineering professor at Starfleet Academy. Who knows, or something like that. So it's kind of a cool. It just kind of like opened up the imagination to a lot of cool possibilities and stuff like that. And then I don't know how long Lanthanites live, but I think Jill was hoping that, and I was hoping too, that we might even see Pelia in the 32nd century, but who knows? They are long lived, but we don't know how long they live. So that would be pretty cool. I mean, Yoda's like what 900 years old when he dies, right? So
Yeah,
it's
no, yeah,
possible.
Yoda is 900 when he dies.
Jill says, "I hope we find Pelia at the library next week," and she says she's ready to go back to the academy. Oh, that would be really cool too.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm probably gonna be a Debbie down here, but I'm not a fan of Pelia. I'm like,
Oh wow, really?
she just kind of pisses me off. I'm like, I don't like you. Like, where's Scotty? I don't like you.
Well, Scotty's there.
He's coming. He's
That
coming. He's coming.
he's already there, and they were like
Yeah,
they work together, so
yeah. They
whatever.
work together
Whatever,
now, but
Marcelo.
yeah, yeah.
Don't diss on
Whatever,
my don't diss on
whatever.
my auntie Pelia, okay?
Yeah. I'm not a
She's
Pelia guy.
fam.
I'm not a
um
Pelia guy.
Jill says they live thousands of years apparently. So yeah, she could still be
Oh,
around in the
okay.
32nd century. That's cool. I
Not a
loved
Pelia
my
guy.
favorite part was the 7 of limes. I want to know what the recipe is and make
Somebody's
it.
got to make that drink.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. And just the name 7 of Lions, like genius. Like I was like so happy. And it's cool to see that Seven's legacy goes on into the 32nd century. It's pretty neat. Oh, Aaron
Yeah.
says we're working on a drink. That's awesome. I don't know, what should it taste like. What would a 7 of limes, what would be like the characteristic of
Um.
7 of 9 that we'd want to like kind of have 7 is it a martini? Is it up or on the
No.
rocks? Like,
No.
is it
No.
a what kind of
I
drink
think
is it?
no. I think it would be on the rocks, but I think it would be like a combination of a little bitter on the rocks, and it would be a combination of a bittersweet drink.
I've never had a 7 and 7. I have to look that up. Jill and Aaron say it could be a 7 and 7, and I guess 7 and 7 has 7 up or 7 different liquors, which would
Yeah.
be very
7 different
dangerous. I
liquors.
don't know.
Yeah. Don't. Don't. Here's a PCA. Here's a public service announcement, kids. If you ever go to a party and you're not used to drinking like massive amounts of liquors, don't mix certain liquors with other certain liquors because they don't mix well.
That's true. I have had many, well, I won't share those stories
Yeah.
here, but I've had
Yeah.
many bad experiences after after mixing liquor. It's good to stick to just one kind of drink if you're drinking, and it's good to drink in moderation. I'll just say
Yes.
that. Like,
And
no
yes,
need to down
anything,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah, anything in moderation is preferable to, excess.
Oh, 7 and 7 is 7 Up and Seagram's 7. Oh, okay.
Seagram 7. Okay.
Interesting. And then,
But also,
oh, go ahead.
one more PCA about drinking. If it's your first time drinking and they give you a bunch of screwdrivers and they say, take it easy, because screwdrivers are really good, but they taste like nothing but orange juice, but they're a lot more than orange juice. So control yourself with the screwdrivers, people.
Got it. Um, so a 7 and 7 or 7 and 7 is a highball cocktail. Mixed
Oh,
alcoholic drink containing Seagram 7 Crown and and a blended whiskey and 7 Up, a lemon lime soft drink. Okay.
that's awesome. That sounds good. I might make one.
There's a cool set of movies, the first of which is called 7 Up, that follows kids from age 7 all the way till I think it's still going. The series is still going on. They're like at like 52 up or whatever the next 7 years would be.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, definitely want that drink. Um, Now, later on, though, in an as they continue, because like in this scene, the Breen arrive and she's trying to get the sensors or the weapons realigned or something like that, so in case they go into action. But I thought that was a pretty impressive scene. But before we get to that, later on, we do find out more from Reno about a place when she was smuggling books that she would go to called the Eternal Gallery and Archive. What did you think of that concept?
That was cool. That was really, really cool. I mean, listen, when she first said it, I was like, that sounds very interesting, but I was like, okay, all right, all right. But I listen, I love Tig. And I think that she has been sort of, because of scheduling and maybe other things, they've probably not used her as much as I like, but it's always nice to see her. And it's always nice to get that little bit of Jet Reno mixed in with whatever episode of Discovery that you're watching. So it was just really nice for her to get a moment and for her to learn a little bit more about her backstory and to learn a little bit more about her history. It was just really cool.
Geek filter, were the weapons alignment on random floor panels in a hallway? I guess so. It's very interesting. Yeah, like you would think it's somewhere. Yeah, it was very interesting. But I think she's just probably like calibrating secondary systems that probably have to do with the weapons systems. Because she also later on goes to this like weird other place and does some more. So yeah, there's probably a lot of systems that need to be calibrated in order for the weapon systems to work properly, is what I would guess. Um,
Here's
it
the
was
interesting.
weird
Oh,
that she said that's a mouthful. We just called it the archive. It's not really. I mean, I don't know. Let me think about that for a second. The Eternal Gallery and Archive. Yeah, it's not really a mouthful. If it was longer, if it was something like the Eternal Gallery and you know Archive Tabernacle Extraordinaire, yeah, that would be more of a mouthful, I would think. Jill says, when Jet discussed her history in all the ancient books, I had Lanthanite bells ringing in my head. Yeah, I didn't get that necessarily, but I definitely thought it was cool. Uh, I definitely thought it was there was yeah, I definitely thought of Pelia for some reason. But I think Jet Reno is a human, but who knows? Because there's a lot of species that look like humans in Star Trek that are not human. So, book being an example of that as well.
yeah, but I would gather that Jet Reno is a human 100%.
So here we have the arrival of the Breen dreadnought.
Did that
Uh,
look like a dog to you?
it didn't
The
look like a
ship.
dog to me
Look at
until
it. Look at it. It looked like there's the nose, right? And here's the eye, and right under the right. Look at it. Look at that thing.
I'm not sure. It looks kind of like a. I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, I kind of see. There's some kind of like. There's some kind of weird shape going on there. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the dog with the yeah,
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
maybe. But okay, Marcel, that's weird.
I'll shut up.
No, you're fine. It's just like I was like not expecting to like think about it that way.
Yeah, look,
But
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, I'll stop.
no, you're fine. But yeah, what'd you think of the dreadnought and this whole sequence? The
Yeah,
fugitives meeting,
yeah,
with the Breen.
it's a really, really cool ship, and I believe that if Starfleet engaged with the Breen would wipe their ass into next week. Because they look badass, and when they show up, I like the green helmet thing that they have. I think it's a really, really cool, simple but really badass design, and I love the fact that when they first show up, they speak in their own language, and it takes a minute for the for the universal translator to kick in.
It's really interesting that the Bream have this gigantic ship that's like it's bigger than Starfleet HQ, which is already a pretty big thing, like and I guess each Primarch has a ship like this. They could definitely take over a planet like no problem with just that one
Oh yeah,
ship and all the
definitely.
armament and all the support vessels that must be on there, and they all live on these things. And I guess that's where I guess we saw that maybe we saw the backside of this ship. Because it looks like that like central chamber goes all the way through, and so maybe that's in those earlier scenes in the flashback, we were seeing the backside where where Moll was doing the trading and all that stuff. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's possible. Definitely possible.
But yeah, it was a cool design. I thought I like that we got to see it on that one display. But yeah, uh, I loved everything about these next few scenes. Excuse me. I love like, you know, uh, I love that what's his name, Primarch Tahal was like, speaking in Breen and thinking that they didn't understand, and then Tarina, pulls out like the whole thing of like, actually, he's like some like the translator says something like, the Primarch says, why should I talk to you or whatever, and Tarina's like, or more accurately, why should I lower myself to the level of some kind of worm or whatever, whatever it is. And she goes,
Right.
a more accurate translation, yes. And I was like, yes, girl. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. Tarina, I love her. She's amazing. I do want to see President Rillick also. I like her character, but I'm not complaining at all about getting more Tarina because she's pretty awesome and she really shined in this moment. I thought with the way she handled this like really intense kind of situation with the Breen.
Tarina has to show up one more time. And you know what she has to show up for? It's gonna happen, I'm telling you. It's
The
gonna
wedding.
happen. I want the
Kier
wedding,
said
damn it. Sorry. I want the wedding. Oh, it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be disappointed. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Tarina is a badass, and she is a badass stepping in for the Federation president. I do like the fact that she was actually able to understand and translate what the Breen officer here said in actuality,
Cake
which was really
Cake wants to know what we think about this. So did Tarina learn Breen in one day, or has she had experience with the Breen? I think with Tarina, it could be either, or maybe she's modified her maybe the Vulcans have more like more languages in their universal translators than the Federation do for some reason. Excuse me. But didn't they translate the Breen message earlier from the Primarch, or was it in English? I can't remember.
no. They did it earlier. It was not in English. They translated it earlier.
So maybe, yeah. I don't know. That's very interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I'm not to answer Cake's question. I don't know how Tarina knows. I don't know. So for that. I'm willing to go with it.
I adore Trina and was so pleased to see her given a whole subplot. Basically, yeah, I agree. I love that too. And then here's some ideas. So maybe she studies languages with Saru. Oh yeah, Saru knows a ton of languages. Oh my god, that's like a cute thing. I love
That's
the
interesting.
idea that they sit around like, but I also love this even more because it's true. You know, every foreign language that I've learned, you always learn the bad words first, like the insults first, if you will. So perhaps Trina made learning insults a priority along with swear words. Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of a funny, relatable thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I was learning how to speak my second language, the first thing that I learned is how to cuss in the language. Like
Yes.
before I learned anything else, I learned how to cuss in that language.
But anyways, we finally, we I love this whole stuff that, while this is going on, we're also seeing, back and forth like what's going on Discovery, and they're trying to solve the puzzle. And I love that there was this like two tier kind of way that they were solving it. Like Tilly and Adira were talking to Reno, chasing down that path, and then here you had Book and Stamets chasing down a different path. And so using those two kind of, they figured out where they need to go next. But what did you think of all of this like intensity, if you will?
Yeah, yeah, it was a very well constructed scene, and I did like how we had the multiple things happening at once, and we kept cutting back and forth from these people to these people, these people. But one thing has always boggled me: why are there no chairs in in Starfleet HQ? There are no chairs everywhere. People stand everywhere. I'm like, does anybody get tired? There are no chairs. Sorry,
There's lots
it's
of
so
chairs. There's
stupid.
like floaty chairs and stuff like that.
But they don't floaty chairs, but they were all standing it. I'm sorry, this is so stupid.
Oh, this was also a pet peeve of mine. Just like the second time now that Star Trek has called a crest or seal a logo, which is kind of odd. I would have even preferred like emblem.
An
But
emblem
yeah,
would be
it's
cool.
logo just to me seems like something that that's like a brand mark,
But
like
yeah,
a, you know what I mean?
but I
But I
do
don't
want to
know.
say, yeah, but I do actually want to throw this in there. It was really cool to see Book use his powers again because we haven't seen that in a bit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, he used them earlier this season.
Did he? I must have blocked it out.
Yeah, in Janal, remember when the those creatures were attacking?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You're right.
I like the dialogue. I bet the chairs materialize out of nowhere from programmable matter. That's probably true, and they do float. We see that they don't. They always float whenever we see them, kind of, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Booker say shite.
Okay.
They have to stand all day because they don't they don't get to their steps in anymore due to personal transporters. That's funny.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
uh Everyone, Father's posting the link for the text trek deep dive later, so check that out tonight at 7 Central. So check it out. We're almost finished here. We're getting to the end of our discussion
Get
here,
to
but
the end. Yeah.
anyways, the situation gets really intense, and
Again,
uh
worst doctors ever. Look at it. Look at that. This guy comes in with a medical kit and he doesn't do crap all. Look at it. Look at that.
but I thought that was like another cool thing. Like the another thing about this episode was like there were a lot of like, oh no, how are they going to get out of this moments, because you have all these intense things going on, and on top of that, you have the scion dying, right? So it was like
Right.
he's like, we don't know anything about Breen physiology. I need a Breen doctor. And she's like, okay, I'll go get you one. And so then Burnham has to go, and basically after this like intense negotiation, which by the way we didn't really talk about, it was interesting how they use the information they learn from Rayner about kind of the tragedy of his home planet Kelran. I didn't realize, what had happened. To They use that to create this bluff, basically, where they convinced Tahal that there was this other Rune. Rune is this one. They convinced Rune that the other Primarch Tahal was also negotiating for the prisoners, and so by that they were almost they were very close to convincing him to let them keep the scion, and and so that no one would have claim to him, so that there would be an even fight among the Breen. They were really close, but then this happened, so it was like a really um good information.
Yeah, that was a really good bluff, like, Sohail said, but I also really liked learning a little bit more about Raynor's past and why he is so, shoot first, ask questions later. But with that being said, when he first brought it up in a scene that we already talked about, um, I agree with him because if Starfleet would have done nothing, the Breen would have attacked anyway. So it's like either you get ready for it, and either you batten down the hatches and you prepare for it, or you get blown away, which is which is not what we want, but
Exactly. I also like the interaction between Book and Maul. Like, you know I know you were like, oh, I don't really buy it, but I thought that was a really poignant scene when he's like, don't miss the chance to be by his side, as he dies, like, because she thought they were bluffing at first and stuff like that. Oh,
Mhm.
here's the quote actually. Don't miss your chance to be there with him for him, so um Maul reluctantly gives in, goes back, and then we get this whole another revelation in the episode after he
Dun
dies.
dun dun.
Is that they're married, and now I'm wondering if she's in fact carrying uh a baby scion.
Yeah, well. That they're married makes her more important intrinsically. But if she's actually pregnant with his, son or daughter, that makes her equally as important because she is essentially carrying the right to the throne.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool that it was really kind of interesting, this whole sequence, and I thought, I don't know. You were saying something about like Maul, staying bad, but do you think she
Yeah.
tried to do? Do you think she pulled this maneuver to try to keep the Federation safe in a weird way? Like, she decided to like go
No.
aboard. No, yeah,
N-
okay.
No, I know. Look. I have to be honest with you, and that's what you pay me for.
Oh
But
no, you know what?
uh,
No,
uh,
wait. I just remembered that she was also like, no, I know about the progenitor tech, and I can get it. Yeah, you're right. So no,
yeah,
she just straight up is. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, but I listen. I will rephrase what I said before. I like the fact that Maul up to this point goes by the beat of her own drum and hasn't been swayed by Starfleet's platitudes of "Hey, we're just trying to help." Because in all honesty, Starfleet is trying to help, but Starfleet is also trying to save their own butt. So they're trying to help, obviously, because they are a good organization, but there are things here at play that benefit Starfleet more if Maul goes with them, right?
Mhm. Well,
So
I
yeah,
mean, we'll talk about that in a second, but
we are.
interestingly, Geek Filter was asking, does Maul not have like the empathy that Book does? They're not directly related. It's Book's mentor. Booker Cleveland was Book's like kind of mentor. They worked together somehow, and Booker Cleveland left his family
Mm,
hoping to ensure their safety. And so he had talked a lot about Maul and his wife, I guess, to Book. And for some reason, Book decided to take on his name after Booker Cleveland died. So there's not like a direct kind of relationship, and they're I don't think that they're I don't think that the original Booker Cleveland was a empath or from Quajon. I think they were just. I think he might have been human. I think Moll is human, in fact, but I'm not sure. I don't think they're the same species, but it's not 100% clear, to be honest. So maybe we'll find out as we go along.
Mhm. Maybe we will.
Yeah, so this is not his like they're not related, through
No,
blood, but
no,
he
no, definitely
considers
not.
her his ward, if you will, is my impression.
Yeah,
So even if
yeah,
she is a Quajon, but I don't really think she's a Quajon. She doesn't really feel like a Quajon to me. Although Book's actual brother was kind of aggressive, so he was a
yeah,
little
yeah,
aggressive, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I wasn't too crazy about him.
Oh, cool. Trek Yards is in the audience. Hey, who's that? Is that Captain Foley or
Hey,
is it Commander Cockings or both? Nice to see you guys. Here we have the scene that you were talking about.
see, no chairs, people. Where are the chairs? Sorry,
By the way, if it's Stuart, happy birthday! Very cool.
where are the
Yeah,
chairs?
there are no chairs. You're right. There were chairs, by the
There
way, in the scene.
ain't no
Hey, it is
chairs.
Captain Foley. I just want to give a quick shout out to Captain Foley because he's celebrating his 50th anniversary birthday
Hey,
tomorrow. They're doing a live stream, so go check that
I
out.
used to watch. I used to watch Trek Yards back in the day. They're great.
Yes, you should watch them. Why used to? You should continue watching them. In fact,
I
Trekyard is
fell
probably going to
off.
do a
I
breakdown
fell
of all
off.
these ships, especially
I
the Breen ship that we saw in this episode.
I
So
I
definitely check it
fell.
out.
I no. I fell off because I'm not a ship. I'm not a ship nut like a lot of folks.
Still, there's a lot of fun stuff to
To love
see on
over there.
Trekyards. Yeah, go over there and check it out. No, but I get it, Marcel. There's a lot of us streaming, but just once in
Yeah.
a while, you gotta or pop
Yeah.
a stream on and put it in
Yeah.
another tab. That's how I do
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
Put it in.
But
Put it in as. Put it in as background noise.
exactly. Um, stress-free case. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's my birthday tomorrow as well. I'm so excited. 46 years old, and then 1 year away from my Trek birthday, 47, which is pretty cool. Stress-free case says, I get it. Book has no more people left. Moll is the only connection, and he must still be grieving the loss of his entire planet. What do you think? Whose side are you on? Was it right to give Moll to the Breen and avoid a full-on confrontation, or should they have kept Moll as Book was suggesting?
No, let it go. Let it go. Because look, Maul wasn't going to cooperate anyway. So if they kept her, they would have wasted time trying to convince her to to help them do what they wanted. And if you let her go, at least you could chase her and follow her.
Yeah, I also think it was the right thing to do. I think Maul, as Burnham or someone pointed out in the scene, that Maul might actually have a plan that
Of course she
might
does. She
I
has a
think it was a
plan.
better idea to give her to the Breen, yeah.
Of course she has a plan.
And Jill saying yes, both the Federation and the Breen had crimes to try her for. So yeah, Maul's off on the Breen ship. They give her up, and then the Discovery's back on track, and they're heading to the Badlands.
I had no idea what that cloud was until it was pointed out on the first reaction stream last night. I was like, "What? No way!"
It's gonna be the same Badlands from Voyager, right?
Oh
That's
wow,
very
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah.
There's only one Badlands, I think.
There's only one
Uh
Badland.
Stuart says Maul will end up helping them after she realizes Locke isn't coming back.
Okay,
That's
that's a
another possibility.
possibility.
We're all Captain Foley, just so you know, we're all betting that they're gonna either resurrect him with the progenitor attack,
I
or there's
am
a
not.
possibility that he's not dead because maybe the Breen have like some kind of deep stasis and those Breen doctors didn't notice, but I think that's less likely. Um Geek
Yeah,
Filter says maybe she knows that Locke is not dead. Yeah, that's possible too. There's a lot of possibilities up ahead, but yeah, very exciting episode. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking about it with you and the audience. Marcel, do you have any predictions for next week?
yeah. I think it's gonna be really fun to go into the Badlands, and I think we're gonna find out if Maul does have a plan or not. And listen, I don't. I believe that Locke is dead. I would like him to stay dead, but like you mentioned earlier, like new Star Trek does not like permanent death. They just don't do that. So I'm so despite what would like, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think they're going to bring him back, and I think they're going to use a progenitor tech to do that. I don't want
I
it to
think
happen,
so
but
too.
it's going to happen.
Aaron says they've dangled too much resurrection technology to have him stay dead if he actually is dead. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Well, I'm excited about seeing this archive. I think we saw a glimpse of it in the trailers. There's that weird looking space station thing that might be
Mhm.
the archive. So I'm
Maybe
excited
that
to see
might be
it.
it.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll next week we won't be live. I'll be in Washington DC and I'm going there to do some photography, but I'm also going to go and see the Enterprise at the Smithsonian Museum. I'm so excited about that. I'm going with my mom and we might meet some Trek friends who live in the area there as well.
How
So,
how long
yeah,
how long are you going to be here for?
in Washington DC. You're not in Washington DC though, are you?
I'm
Just
not,
over the
but how?
weekend.
Oh,
I'll be
just
there
over the
from
weekend.
Friday to Monday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see her. I saw her once when I was really young, but she was hanging, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like up in the rafters or
Raptors.
whatever. But yeah, but now she's on the ground level and you can like really inspect her and see both sides, the screen side and the technical side on, it's less, there's
Cool.
yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, and also just the Smithsonian. Yeah, as Jill pointed out, the Smithsonian, woohoo! It's like a big deal. So there, I think is she at the Air and Space Museum if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, the sub
Yes,
commander will be
the Air and
decloaking
Space
to hang
Museum.
out with me, so I'm really excited to see him. And as I said, Braxton might be meeting us there as well. So on that note, any final thoughts and ratings? I'm gonna give this episode another 9. I think it's a really solid episode. 9.5 maybe even actually. It's a really
Yeah, I
good
mean,
episode.
I mean, this episode was really solid, but there were some things about it where I was like, okay. So with that, I'll give it a 7. It was really solid, I thought.
Cool. Cool. All right, Marcelo, what do you got going on that you want to tell folks about to go check
Yeah.
out?
Well, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it is Balloon Hit Productions. Just a really quick note, because today is the new start of a new era of Doctor Who.
Oh,
I
that's right.
have
That premieres on my birthday. I forgot
yeah
about that.
tonight. Yeah, actually, tonight. So, yes. So with a good friend of mine, we actually sat down ages ago and we talked about the first episode of the 2005 version of Doctor Who, entitled Rose. So that will be dropping tonight on my channel, Balloon Hit Productions, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go and check that out. But if you want to get access to all my other stuff, you can follow me on X. I'm at CreekFanatic88.
All right, very cool. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
audience on YouTube, X, Twitter, and
Yeah.
Facebook for joining us today. It was really cool. And again, no, there won't be a lower decks discussion at 5 p.m. today. We're gonna record that later, and then I'll let you guys know when that comes out. Tomorrow, we will be having our discussion of the next Deep Space Nine
What
episode.
episode is it?
I'm looking it up right now because I've forgotten.
Of course you
Nine,
did.
season 1. Here we go. It is Babel. It's Babel. Babel,
Oh, it's
Babel, Babel,
Babel,
Babel.
Babel, Babel. What is
I
it
don't know how
again?
to say it. I think it's Babel. I think correctly, or maybe I don't know. Babel fish. I think of the Babel fish. So
Babel fish.
you know what that
Okay.
is, right? You've seen
No.
Hitchhiker's Guide or read it?
Oh, no,
No.
no, 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 no. I still
Okay.
haven't seen it. I gotta watch that.
Oh, you got to watch it for sure.
I gotta watch it.
So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Check us out tomorrow, and then don't forget our little birthday streams. Don't forget the Trek Yards birthday stream for Captain Foley, and then don't forget the Text Trek Discord generation stream for my birthday. So it's really exciting. I'm excited to get a little older, and hopefully I don't look a little older for a while. Anyways, live long and prosper, everybody, and we will see you next time.